All right, we are the Hungry Hippos, the biggest one here. We had intermittent fasting as our diet. So we're on the next slide. If you're unfamiliar with it, intermittent fasting is fasting in cycles, and that's not just like skipping meals, like, oh, I forgot to eat, but intentionally skipping your meals, depending on your lifestyle and schedule. Religious reasons are another reasons that people will fast. As we did a lot of research for intermittent fasting, there are various styles to do this with. Like the most popular seems to be the 16-hour fast with 8-hour window to eat. But there were also like 24-hour fasts or fasting 2 days a week throughout the week. They could be consecutive or split up. So everything we kind of found in research, we found the 16-hour fast was the most popular and having the most research done on it. So let's go to the slide. The more we started to look into intermittent fasting, and a lot of the studies are coming out now, and there was so much research we had to really pull it back and look into it, but there was numerous health benefits to it. Biggest one being the circadian clock. I think one of the biggest issues we have these days is people are constantly eating, and so when we're constantly eating, insulin's shooting up and hormones are getting out of balance. And what we found in the research is that as you begin to have the fast consistently, every day, like doing a weekly, daily 16-hour fast, insulin levels get back in check, inflammation comes down, and your circadian rhythms begin to get back into rhythm. Again, this is more of the information on the benefits of it. When your circadian rhythm and your hormone systems get back on the same page, your body really begins to reap the benefits of the fasting period. It reduces systemic inflammation and increases the responsiveness to insulin, so you're not constantly screaming insulin. So there's the circadian biology. One of the biggest things we did look up on this, it was like, it doesn't really matter the window in which you eat. So you could fast until 1 p.m. and then eat from 1 to 9 p.m. You could eat in the morning and then fast all afternoon into the evening. It really didn't matter. The biggest thing you had to do is be consistent with it. And that's what gets these rhythms back in check. But you couldn't, one day, I stopped eating at 1 and then the next morning eat again. That's not following the fasting period windows. If that makes sense. We'll go to the next slide. We started to look to try to find an origin for intermittent fasting, and everything that we found is said we've been fasting for millennia. It's been around since the beginning of time. And it kind of makes sense when you think about hunter-gatherer, right? They would have had long periods of fasting and then would have had time to eat. Again, there was plenty of religious reasons to fast that we found, but the biggest thing is they just said there is no real founder for this in this current age. Bodybuilding is picking it up now. Who else was picking it up? Fat loss, religion, weight loss. A lot of people are doing this for weight loss, fat loss, various styles. There are a ton of websites out there with guides on it, but there's no founder on that.
All right, who would benefit? Really anyone would benefit from this. Like he said, if you're obese or overweight, it's a good way to kind of rewire your body to work off of fat instead of carbs. That's a really good way to do that. And fasting is really good to prevent neurological disorders such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. As when you fast, it decreases the inflammatory cytokines and stuff that get to your brain. The 16-hour fast was the most popular that we found, and we kind of decided to do kind of a diet plan. There's not really a diet plan, you just don't eat. But the remaining 8 hours, though, it's kind of key to not refrain from gorging or eating too fast. Really chew your food and allow your body time to digest and do what it needs to do with nutrition. Stick to a whole food plant-based diet. Don't fast for 16 hours and then go to McDonald's. It kind of defeats the point. So we didn't give any kind of focus on what you should eat other than whole food plant-based. So just make sure like it doesn't come in a package or something like that. Oh yes, and so like if you are doing it with exercise and everything, it's really important to match your protein intake with your activity levels. And another thing we like to focus on was the inflammation, changes in composition of your gut bacteria. So we know that obesity leads to impermeability within your gut, and that leaks out whatever you have in your gut and gets systemic and leads to inflammation. And then like I said, for the neurological disorders, decreases levels of pro-inflammatory cytokines in the brain. Now, who should not fast? If you're pregnant, you should not fast. Chronic or high anxiety, so maybe like you shouldn't do it within a trimester. Maybe this is like something you should do over the course of the 2 weeks. Obviously, if you have an eating disorder, this could probably make it worse. And then disturbances in hormone balance, especially with females. And this is just kind of our opinion. This diet is very beneficial. Like he said, you need to be consistent with your times and consistent with your eating. And then these are our references if you want to look up more information. Any questions?